Hi, this is John Lampy from Green Shoots. I'm a licensed pesticide applicator in the category of natural areas and forests. In this video, I want to review some of the bad advice that I have found on the web concerning how to kill a tree. In many instances, killing a tree is necessary. For example, here I am doing a highly targeted application of foam herbicide to kill invasive non-native buckthorn trees that are growing in a prairie and surrounding a native oak. In order to help that native prairie and oak thrive, I am controlling the buckthorn. But there are right ways and wrong ways to kill a tree. In most of my videos, I talk about the right ways. In this one, I talk about some of the wrong ways. I ranked this piece of bad advice as number 6 because the harm is somewhat limited. However, for most trees, you cannot kill them simply by cutting them down. Almost all deciduous trees, maples, oaks, ashes, etc., will resprout from a cut stump. Most conifers, like pines, will not. Some of the worst invasive trees, like tree of heaven, will sprout prolifically from the roots. If you cut tree of heaven down without a treatment, you will be very sorry you did. Instead of having to deal with one big tree, you will have to contend with hundreds of little trees sprouting up all over from the roots. And just cutting those sprouts down won't kill them either. I rank this as the next worst piece of advice. Don't do a foliar treatment on a tree that is 15 feet high. In fact, for homeowners, I would counsel against any kind of foliar treatment of a tree or shrub. The risks are too high that drift from that application could kill other desirable plants. There are far safer, highly targeted ways to kill a tree without doing a foliar treatment. Sorry, but salt is not a good alternative to herbicide. Yes, salt can indeed be lethal at high levels to plants, but if you apply enough salt to kill a tree, especially a large one, you will likely be left with a site where nothing else will grow. And unlike many chemicals, that salt in your soil won't break down. It's pretty permanent. High soil salinity is a major problem in many parts of the world. Why import that problem into your yard? Do copper nails kill a tree? Yes, the short answer may be maybe, but the slightly longer answer is probably not. I have never seen a study showing that copper nails pounded into a trunk of a tree will kill it. I have also never read of a professional using this method to kill a tree. I can't say definitively that it doesn't work, but I would advise great skepticism. By pounding any object into a tree, you could foster rot in that tree and weaken it. Thus, by using copper nails, you may turn a healthy, unwanted tree into an unhealthy, unwanted tree that poses a safety risk. Even if this method might work, is it really worth that risk? The second worst piece of advice that I found was targeting roots of a tree with a soil treatment. Fortunately, trying to kill a tree in a homeowner's yard with a soil-applied herbicide is probably not even allowed under the labels for such herbicides. For example, as the first excerpt from a soil-applied herbicide label states, you can't use that herbicide around homes or on lawns. Even if there is one that you can use around homes, don't use it. As the second excerpt notes, the application would threaten any nearby desirable woody species. Don't risk killing a nearby desirable tree with a soil-applied herbicide. I have no idea how someone came up with this bit of advice to use tree grubs to kill a tree. But this quotation isn't something I scrounged up in some corner of the web. It comes from a document that ranked high in search results. After I read this piece of advice, I quickly did a search to see if you actually could buy grubs for any purpose. Fortunately, I couldn't find a source. Never buy tree grubs or any living organism for the purpose of killing a plant. You could inadvertently import a non-native pest and start the next wave of mass tree mortality. Think emerald ash borer or Dutch elm disease. Do your research before you try to kill a tree of any size. Hire a professional if you have any doubts about taking on the task. Use a targeted method for killing a tree. And finally, using an herbicide is easiest, but there are non-chemical means too.